Hello, my dear students. This is the last part of creating interactive dashboard in Power BI. In this part, we are gonna create an interactive dashboard. For that, we are gonna use the report view in your Power BI software. And here, I have already created one interactive dashboard. I'm gonna just replicate the same in this new interactive dashboard page. The reason I created one before I start the new one, because creating interactive dashboard in Power BI is all about trial and error process. So you're gonna try different graphs, visualization techniques, and then you just settle down to a final one. So in this case, I tried different variations of different graphs. And then finally, um, I found this particular interactive dashboard more, um, uh, you know, more suitable. Okay, so let us start. So here, first, I'm gonna put a text box where I'm gonna put some titles. So let us start here. Home, insert, text box. So it is finance 343, term paper, my name, MD Najmul Hassan Bunyan. Okay, and now I want the font size to be 16. Okay, so I'm done with the title. Oh, next thing, I want to change the font to Times New Roman. Okay, so now I have the title. Next one, I'm gonna create a graph for liquidity ratios. And in this case, I'm gonna use staked column chart. Okay, so here, staked column chart. This should be here. And then x-axis. For x-axis, I want year. On your y-axis, I want quick ratio. I want current ratio. And here I want average of quick ratio, average of current ratio. Let me make this one a little bit longer. Okay, now I'm gonna change the title. So for that, I'm gonna move to format your visual, and then here, general, title. This should be liquidity ratios, and then y-axis. For y-axis, I want to change the title. So this one should be ratio. Okay. Next, I want to put a slicer. The slicer is here. And then for slicer, I want ticker symbol here. And then from here, slicer setting, and then vertical list. From here, I want the style to be drop down. So that means like if you want to choose say Costco, you can just choose the ticker of Costco, which is CUST, cost. So liquidity ratio part is done. Next, we are gonna move to capital structure ratios. So for capital structure ratio, let me see which one I used. So I used the line chart. Okay. Line chart here. Fiscal year end. We want data year to be our x-axis. And then debt ratio should be our y-axis. Again, we want average, and then times interest earned should be our secondary y-axis. Again, it should be average. Okay, let us make it longer. Okay. Now, again, we are going to change the title. Title should be capital structure ratios. And then we are going to change the title for x-axis and y-axis. So title for here, it should be debt ratio. And then for, oh, okay. This is for the x-axis. Y-axis, the title should be debt ratio. Then for secondary y-axis, the title should be times interest earned. Times interest earned. Okay, so now we got our capital structure ratio and liquidity ratio complete. So next one should be our operating ROA. So for operating ROA, again, we use line chart. So here, let me see, on y-axis, we put operating ROA and net profit margin. Sorry. Operating ROA, operating ROA, and then net profit margin. Again, we want average, and here we want year. Then on the secondary y-axis, we put ROE and we put total asset turnover. Total asset turnover. Total asset turnover. Okay. Now let us make these graphs standard. So here the title should be operating ROA. So format visual, general, title, operating ROA. Okay. Next, we are gonna change the title of the x-axis and y-axis. So it is operating ROA and net profit margin. Operating ROA and next profit margin here. So operating ROA and net profit margin. Next, this one should be total asset turnover, TAT, title, TAT, total asset turnover. So this is how we get our operating ROA graph. Next one, it should be again line graph. Let's make it a little bit longer. And then this one is ROE, return on equity. Let us see what we put where. So we want ROE and net profit margin on the primary y-axis. ROE, net profit margin. ROE, ROE, and then net profit margin. Again, I want them to be average. Next, secondary y-axis. For secondary y-axis, it should be total asset turnover, equity multiplier. Total asset turnover. Equity multiplier. Equity multiplier. So it should be average and average. Okay. Let us check what happened here. Secondary y-axis here. So this fiscal year end, not fiscal year end month, data year here. Now again, let us change the title from format visual, then general, title, ROE, and then next. Here, this one should be ROE and net profit margin. Again, visual, y-axis, title, ROE, and net profit margin. The next one is total asset turnover and equity multiplier. Secondary y-axis, title, total asset turnover and equity multiplier. Now we are going to create the very last graph, which is for market valuations. Now for market value ratios, let's see what graph we used. So we used clustered bar chart. Okay, so clustered bar chart. Again, for year, year is now on the y-axis. For x-axis, it should be price earnings ratio. Then book to market ratio. Again, we want average. So let us now change the title, market value ratios. And then here, let us change the title. It should be ratios because we know we have ratios on the x-axis. So here, visual x-axis title ratios. Okay. Now here we also want to have title for the x-axis. Here, this x-axis title year. Let us change the title of x-axis in these three graphs. We want just year. X-axis title year. Again, x-axis title year. X-axis title year. Okay, now our interactive graph is complete. Now let us try different formats. So here you can see, you can choose any of these formats. I like simple color, so I'm gonna keep this one. You can choose whatever color you like. So here, our new interactive dashboard is ready. Now same. Here, I want to see the ratio analysis for Apple Incorporation. I can choose Apple Incorporation. I want to choose ratio analysis for Chevron here. I want to choose the ratio analysis for Disneyland here, for Google here. So for your written part, you can choose any of the company you like, and then you're gonna make a conclusion about the financial condition of the company based on liquidity ratios, capital structure ratios, um, operating ratios, then return on equity, operating return on asset, return on equity, and then market value ratios. So this is how you're gonna, complete the written part of your term paper. Okay, so once we are done on creating our dashboard, what we are gonna do, we are gonna save it. Save. In my case, I already saved it. Say I want to create another file, CBS. I'm save as, then Nazmul one. Okay. So now on my download one, I have my Power BI file. So for your term paper, you also want to upload your Power BI file along with your written part. All right, that's all I have for this interactive dashboard creation in Power BI. Thank you.